Well, good morning, everybody. Would everybody please rise for the singing of our national anthem by the John F. Kennedy High School Choir under the direction of Jason Tamashowski. Please be seated. We now would like to direct your attention to the video screen for a video presentation of what we call Faces of America. Well, on behalf of United States Citizenship and Immigration Services within the Department of Homeland Security, I'd like to welcome you to this very special naturalization ceremony in Woodbridge. My name is John Thompson. I am the District Director of the new USCIS District, which encompasses the state of New Jersey. It's my honor to serve as your Master of Ceremonies this morning. With us today, we have the Deputy District Director for the Newark District, Tamika Gray, who will be administering the oath of allegiance, which, as our applicants for citizenship know, is your very last step for becoming citizens of the United States. Also with us today, we're very honored to have the Mayor of Woodbridge, John McCormick, who will be providing some welcoming remarks, and Councilwoman Elizabeth De Jesus, who will be providing the keynote remarks later in the program. Of course, I'd like to thank the John F. Kennedy High School Choir under the leadership of Jason Tomaszewski for that wonderful rendition of our national anthem, and they're also going to provide at the end of the program, they'll be singing "God Bless America." I'd also like to acknowledge our staff here today, who are ones who are responsible for putting this together. Of course, we have Andy Charalambous over to the left. He's the section manager of the naturalization section of the Newark field office. We have Paul Correa over to my right, your left. He's the field office director for the Newark field office. Cruz Buelas, which I think you all saw. She was the one leading the God Bless the USA earlier. And our staff members there, Lakeisha Munoz and Juan Carmona, who actually did most of the work here today, registering everyone. Also, we'd like to thank the Woodbridge Township for inviting us here on their cultural days. This has become quite a regular occurrence here, and we just love coming here. This celebrates, the multi-diverse culture that we have in the United States, and so thank you, Mayor McCormick, for once again inviting us here. Also, I'd like to acknowledge Eileen Caggiano from the Township Recreation Department for helping organize this. And we have our good friends here from the Daughters of American Revolution who become regular participants in our ceremonies, who will be providing little gifts, tokens of appreciation for our newest citizens at the end of the program. Now, you've come here today, of course, to pledge your allegiance to the United States. And right now, I'd like to introduce our host of today's ceremony, the Mayor of Woodbridge Township, John McCormick. John McCormick. Just briefly, we don't have time to go over all of his accomplishments, but he started his public service back in 1990 as the financial administrator as a financial officer for Woodbridge. He became the chief financial officer in 1992, and in 2001 he became the business administrator for the township, which managed the day-to-day functions of running the town government and supervising over 800 employees. 2002, Mr. McCormick was appointed to the New Jersey State Treasury as the treasurer, the oversight of the state budget and the management of the 12 divisions of more than 3,500 employees. As treasurer, Mayor McCormick served as the lead cabinet officer charged with the briefing of the state legislative, statewide, constituency advisory group, and the media on New Jersey's fiscal policies. John McCormick returned to public service in Woodbridge in 2006 when he was elected mayor of Woodbridge Township. Please welcome again Mayor John McCormick.
Thank you very much, John. I'm glad to hear that you love coming here for this ceremony, because we absolutely love having this ceremony here. It actually started several years ago. Our Chief of Staff, former Councilwoman Carolyn Ehrlich, who was here, her son-in-law married her daughter, and he was British and he was not a citizen. So she saw firsthand how he went through the process and how everything happened, and went to the ceremony, and she said, wouldn't it be great if we could have a ceremony like that in Woodbridge? And it's appropriate that we have it here because we are an incredibly diverse town. We have all different races, all different cultures, all different ethnicities all throughout Woodbridge Township, and we're proud of that. And it was her idea, so I want to thank her for bringing that to us. I also want to introduce a couple of council people. You'll hear from Lisbeth De Jesus, our councilwoman at large. We also have our second ward councilman, Howie Bauer, and councilman at large, Greg Ficara, are here. Thank you. And you heard a lot about the Recreation Department, which runs this terrific building. Vito Simaluka is the head of the Recreation Department. As the son of an immigrant, this is especially meaningful to me. My father came to America from Ireland back in the early 1950s. He actually fought for America in the Korean War before he became a citizen, which, when you think about that, it's absolutely crazy to think somebody would do that. And all his friends told him that, because if you're an Irish citizen fighting for America and something happens to you, Ireland's not going to do anything for you because you're not fighting their war, you're fighting the war in America. And if you get hurt, before he became an American citizen, they said, what will America do for you, because you're not a citizen yet? And he said, if I'm going to live in America, I'm going to fight for America. Thankfully, nothing did happen. He came back and he raised 5 kids and became a citizen. So I love that story, because he did something that I don't think anybody now would even think of doing. That's how much he wanted to be an American and how much he wanted to be a citizen, that he fought for the country before even becoming a citizen. So I think that's a great story. I'll finish there and just say thank you for coming out. You are in a great town. As I said, this is the best town in the state of New Jersey. You can tell all your friends you got sworn in as a citizen in the great township of Woodbridge. This is just such a fun night. When we see you stand up here, it's just amazing. I wish the camera was back here. When we see you all stand up and take the pledge and smile, there's no better feeling. We get goosebumps. It's just an absolutely wonderful ceremony. We're so glad you're here. We're so glad that the federal government comes to Woodbridge. And as I said, we will have you here every single year. Whenever you want to have your ceremony in Woodbridge Township, you're welcome. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor McCormick, for the very inspiring words, and thank you for the service of your father there, in the service of the United States. Now, you've come here today to pledge your allegiance to the United States. Our applicants for citizenship here today have much in common, including the fact that you're all here today by choice. You also have a lot that's not in common. Our applicants for citizenship today represent 13 different countries from around the world. In a few moments, you're going to rise as one to become citizens of the greatest country that civilization has ever seen. Now, for some of you, the road to this day was not easy. Some of you had to master English as a second language. All of you had to master the history and form of government of your country of choice. And that's not an insignificant accomplishment. Surveys by the news media, which they do periodically, of native-born American citizens who go through the United States school system, found that a full third of them could not pass the test that you passed today to become citizens. So why don't you give yourselves a round of applause for that accomplishment. Now, the practice of taking the oath of allegiance to the United States goes back hundreds of years. The first documented instances of the oath of allegiance were made on May 30th, 1778, during the Revolutionary War at Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. Now, historically, oaths of allegiance were made to a person, to a king, to a queen, to a foreign prince, to a potentate. Your oath of allegiance is not to a person. You're taking an oath to support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States. So it's now time for you to take this very unique oath of allegiance. At this point in time, I'm going to call out the countries of origin for our applicants for citizenship. You can do so. We'll start off with Afghanistan. Afghanistan, please rise. Bangladesh. Cameroon. Canada. Colombia. Croatia. The Dominican Republic. Guyana. Hong Kong. India. Jamaica, Pakistan, South Korea. Okay, at this point in time, all applicants for citizenship should be standing. I'm going to invite this Deputy Director to make a great adjournment at the podium. Director Gray, on behalf of the United States government, it's my pleasure to present 24 applicants for naturalization. Each applicant has been personally examined under oath by a designated officer. Each one has demonstrated an understanding of the English language, unless exempt, and a knowledge and understandings of the fundamentals of history and principles and form of government of the United States. Each one has been found to be a person of good moral character, attached to the principles of the Constitution of the United States, and well disposed to the good order and happiness of the United States. The investigations of the government have been completed in their cases, and each one has been found to meet all requirements of the law to be naturalized. Therefore, on behalf of the government of the United States, I respectfully recommend that you administer the oath of allegiance and that all applicants be admitted as citizens of the United States of America.
Thank you, Director Thompson. And I'll ask for everyone to please raise their right hand. Thank you. And repeat after me, please. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, and that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, so help me God. Congratulations, you are a new United States citizen. Welcome home.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great job. Please be seated. I would now like to direct your attention once again to the video screen for a message from the President of the United States.
It is with great pride that I welcome you into the American family. No matter where you come from or what faith you practice, this country is now your country. Our history is now your history, and our traditions are now your traditions. You enjoy the full rights and the sacred duties that come with American citizenship. Very, very special. There is no higher honor. There is no greater responsibility. You now share the obligation to teach our values to others, to help newcomers assimilate to our way of life, and uplift America by living according to its highest ideals of self-governance and its highest standards. All Americans are your brothers and sisters, and each of us must do our part to keep America safe, strong, and free. America is our home. We have no other. You have pledged allegiance to America. And when you give your love and loyalty to America, she returns her love and loyalty to you. We share one American heart and one American destiny. It is a destiny filled with love, opportunity, and hope. We celebrate this day. We welcome you into our national family. We applaud your devotion to America, and we embrace the wonderful future we will have together. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Now, it's customary at our naturalization ceremonies to invite a distinguished individual to come up and address our newest citizens. Today, we're particularly honored to have Councilwoman Lizbeth De Jesus of Woodbridge. Now, Councilwoman Lizbeth De Jesus has been on the Woodbridge Township Council since January of 2015. A lifelong Woodbridge Ross Street School PTO volunteer, she most recently served as a teaching assistant at the Keith Wold Johnson Child Care Center in Edison. She previously worked for many years at ABC Sports and ESPN as a videotape archive supervisor and assistant to the producer. Born in Puerto Rico, she moved to the mainland when she was 9 years old. She has a Bachelor of Science degree in broadcast journalism from Syracuse University. So go Orange. Please welcome Councilwoman Elizabeth De Jesus.
Good morning. I would like to thank the U.S. Immigration Services as well as Mayor John McCormick and his administration for hosting this momentous occasion here in the greatest town around, Woodbridge. It's such an honor to be the guest speaker on your special day. Today, we have 24 people representing 13 different countries from around the world. Each of us are unique and special in so many ways, in how we dress differently, speak different languages, practice different religions, but today we are all Americans. Former President Barack Obama said, "What makes someone an American isn't just blood or birth, but allegiance to our founding principles and faith in the idea that anyone from anywhere can write the next chapter of our story, and today you begin yours." What makes this the greatest nation in the world is how diverse the cultures are. The dreams, the hopes, the skills that many individuals have brought over the centuries and continue to bring to the United States to make it the unique place that it is. Immigrants from yesterday, today, have one thing in common, and that is the belief that in the United States we can pursue and attain the American dream. Your American dream. The American dream that promises equality, freedom of expression without prosecution, and democracy for all. I want to congratulate each and every one of you for your courage to travel long distances and overcome great obstacles, your tremendous sacrifice, and your hope that led you here today. Now, more than ever, we are in a political climate with so much negative talk and division about immigration that each of you here serves as an example to many individuals seeking citizenship. You show that, yes, it can be done. I implore each and every one of you to be the example and the driving force to encourage those individuals that may be afraid or indecisive to continue on their path towards citizenship. Former U.S. Senator Robert F. Kennedy once said, "Our attitude towards immigration reflects our faith in the American ideal. We have always believed it possible for men and women who start at the bottom to rise as far as their talent and energy allows. Neither race nor place of birth should affect their chances." I stand in front of you as a testament that he was absolutely right. The older I get, the more emotional that I get. I came to the United States at the age of 9 with my mother and little brother. Like many of you, we left everyone we loved behind and everything we knew behind in search of the American dream. We faced challenging times adapting to a new culture and learning a new language. But today, my brother and I represent my mother's courage, determination, and the faith of her American dream. My brother is retired from the United States Marine, and I stand before you as the first Hispanic councilwoman of Woodbridge Township. As new citizens, you have responsibilities to become active participants in your local communities. I urge you to learn about your local government, participate in your houses of worship, and become involved in your children's schools. But the most important responsibility that you will get is your right to vote. You must exercise and partake in this democratic process. We owe it, not only to all the brave men and women, past and present, who have sacrificed and continue to sacrifice to protect this great nation and its democracy, but to all of our future generations. Today is the first day of your lives as citizens. You took an oath that officially starts your path to achieving your American dream that is filled with freedom and endless possibilities. Congratulations, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Councilwoman De Jesus. Those are for that very emotional and great remarks. We happen to see in the back here, we have a very special guest who showed up, although he's not on the program. I wonder if we could ask Congressman Frank Pallone if he'd like to come up and say a few words to our new citizens.
Thank you. I wasn't prepared to speak, but today is a great opportunity because you're all being sworn in and becoming citizens to sort of get an example of what happens in Woodbridge. It's Earth Day, it's Multicultural Day. You're all being sworn in. There's a lot going on, and so maybe I'll use that just as a message to say that we want you to get involved as citizens, right? Not only to vote, but get involved even more in the community than some of you may already be today, because the fact of the matter is, when you talk about a community and you talk about America, it is individual communities, and Woodbridge is a great example of a town that, where you can get involved in so many ways, not only voting, campaigning, but working on different issues. Tomorrow's Earth Day, and if you go outside the community center here, you'll see all the different booths talking about, what citizens can do to try to protect the environment or recycle. And of course, Multicultural Day also is testimony to the fact that we're a very diverse society here in Woodbridge and in New Jersey and America as a whole, and that we celebrate the diversity. So even though you're American citizens now, we still want to celebrate the countries that you came from and the culture that you came from and the language, because that just makes us all a lot better, and that, in this global world, we all need to know each other and to know other societies and what they do and help contribute to this great country that you're now citizens of. So I'm just pleased to be here today. Woodbridge is a great example, really, of what America's all about, and that you're going to be even more a part of now that you're citizens. So congratulations.
Now I would like to conclude our program with a rendition of God Bless America by the John F. Kennedy High School Choir. We're going to sing the song twice. So the second time we sing it, we'd love for you to join in if you feel that you know.
mountains, to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. Baba
Another round of applause for the John F. Kennedy High School Choir under the direction of Jason Tomaszewski. That was very special. Thank you. And of course, now comes the most important part of the ceremonies when you actually get your certificates of naturalization. I'd like to invite the mayor, the councilwoman, the congressman to join us in front. And when we get your certificate, over to my left and your right is some gift bags from the Daughters of the American Revolution. Deputy District Director Keith Gray has the enviable task of trying to pronounce your name all correct.
And when you hear your name, I'll ask you to come forward. Abdul Latif Agha. Jilap Chandra Baskar. Francois Louis Baruch. Mirada Adina Hansan McQueen. Ocarina de la Cruz Pichardo. Ayesh Fahad. Godzala Faruqa. Ninhi Gundrarani. Ashfari Chowdhury. Al Arabia Islam. Muhammad Akhtarul Islam. Luis Felipe Jimenez. Silky Kapoor. Young Shin Kim. Lalitha Krispan Murthy. Bathras Shundrad Rajan. Jalina Marisi. Ferlin Ian Sanchez. Vijay Sankaran Ran Yahana. Kinway Lam. Gloria Margarita Rodriguez Reyes. Milan Patel. Caitlin Anetta Yardy. And Charlene Vanessa Yanik Sokanza Nak Anyambi. Congratulations to all of our newest American citizens.